When people think of deepfake technology, they often think of its negative impact on society. For example, the spread of disinformation or the harmful portrayal of people in fake videos. Deepfakes are created using neural renderings, which refers to the use of machine learning techniques to generate digital faces or face replacements. Mike Seymour, the director of the Modus Lab at the University of Sydney, believes the positive use cases of neural renderings far outweigh the negatives.
Deepfakes is just a subset of what's possible with neural rendering. So we can use neural rendering to bridge cultural boundaries. We can help add diversity. We can actually help aid in all areas of like health, medicine, and communication.
How are neural renderings different than just using computer graphics?
When you think about making something with computer graphics, you traditionally think of it like in an architectural sense, right? You model it, you put textures on it, you light it, and then you render it. What's different with neural rendering is we basically work off the computer studying something, learning from it, that's where we get the word deep learning from, and then from that deep learning understanding, it infers a plausible outcome. If you think about it in terms of neural rendering, we can do some kind of face swap or change of somebody, that's fine. We could also make a fully synthetic person. So GANs, for example, generative adversarial networks, can be used to create somebody that looks like a real person but has never existed in the real world. The difference here is the first one is working off someone that is real. The second one is making a completely plausible synthetic person. And lastly, the third category, of course, is to blend these sort of techniques. So you could have a computer sort of generated person, but we're actually adding a neural render on top to add the realism and the kind of emotional response that we find hard to get out of straight computer graphics without spending like hundreds of thousands of dollars.
So what are the four types of faces that can be created using neural renderings?
One of them is to replace a face, so I look like somebody else, or maybe somebody that's no longer alive because we're doing a reenactment. Secondly, there's a version where we're keeping my face but changing it somehow. For example, making it look like I'm speaking in a language that I otherwise couldn't do. And I want to talk to you today about video dialogue replacement with AI. Now, some people think of this as deep fakes, but it really isn't. It allows me to speak in any language.
我由別人咧控制我個面孔。
Now to do this,
我需要一啲 training data of me.
and training data of me. And this allows the deep learning AI to replace my face with my face, but with the use of AI.
我嘅表情同埋所有我講嘅嘢係由別人所操控嘅。
The issues include how the lighting is, my head turns, a whole lot of things.
And it does not even need to be a person of the same gender. This looks like deepfakes, but it is not.
Well, I think they got that. Thanks, Mike. And then the third category is what we call digital makeup, where we'd be changing me in some way. So I'm still saying the same thing, but I might look 10 years younger or 10 years older. And the last one is actually when we make a synthetic person, so a digital assistant. In this case, we're not changing me or using the neural rendering to affect me. We're actually just creating an entirely new person that could be used, for example, as an online real-time digital assistant. I think one of the really important things to understand is that when we're designing digital humans, we need to be inclusive. We need to co-design with the people that we're working with. You see, the thing about any new technology is it's only something if it's used for that thing. That might sound a bit obscure, but what I mean by that is we can't yet envisage how people will respond to digital humans until we're placing them in applications and having people respond with them. The good news is, of course, that people naturally do respond to faces, and our research has shown that the more realistic they are, the more trustworthy and the more effective they can be. One of the great things about the work we're doing here at the Modus Lab is actually it works on an international level. In fact, I'm just one of a team of researchers working on this, both in the US, Australia, but with engagement partners around the world. So it's great to be able to have this working internationally, because one of the great things about this, of course, is that it does help us cross cultural lines.
Learn more in the October 2023 Communications of the ACM in the research article, Beyond Deep Fakes.